Hey everybody, this is Cody Bateman. Welcome to this week's version, the Relationship Marketing Weekly Show. I'm coming to you out of Salt Lake City, Utah. I have a very special guest on our show today.
Hey everybody, this is Cody Bateman. Welcome to this week's version, the Relationship Marketing Weekly Show.
I'm coming to you out of Salt Lake Marketing. And basically double or triple your sales almost overnight. You know, it's amazing the results that car dealerships and salespeople on the lots will get if they implement a relationship marketing strategy like we're going to spell out for you today. We got one of the coolest guys that you're going to meet in the car business. You meet this guy, everybody's going to want to travel all over the world just to buy cars from Chris Kendall.
Thanks, Cody.
This is Chris Kendall from Bachman Chevrolet out of Louisville, Kentucky. Welcome to our show, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, Cody, I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate it.
So you're sitting in a vehicle on your lot, right?
Yeah, Suburban sitting on the lot. We thought it was a little less risky than doing it inside today. So
that's great. So like if somebody walks by that wants to look at a car, you might have to bounce out of the interview. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen, really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a super busy guy, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this today. Again, I'm very passionate about this. You know, I've been working with dealerships, motorsport dealerships and car dealerships for 15, 16 years now. And on the one hand, there's super success stories. And on the other hand, I want to pull my hair out, and I don't have very much of it because car dealers don't implement this, and they should. And so, you know, we want to talk about that. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about, you're a second generation in the car industry. Your dad was real big in the car business. Could you just tell us real quick a little bit about I love how you tell your father's story. He was an old school card sender way back in the day.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your dad and how he conducted his business.
Yeah. Thanks, Cody. I appreciate it. And, you know, as last couple of days, I've been reflecting on my dad. And there'll be a lot of people, I guess, watching this that knew him, and he passed away. I guess it was 15 years last month that he passed away. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting, thinking about doing this interview this week. And, you know, we're originally from Lexington, and my father got in the car business back in '74. And, you know, I remember at a young age, we had an office in the house, and he'd bring home all the plaques and, you know, man of the year, salesman of the month. And I knew that was good, but I really didn't get it at that age. And one thing that made me laugh, I was telling our friend Darla the other night, I said, he always said, I might not be the best, just the best I'd ever seen.
That's great.
So, but one of the things, you know, whenever I would stop and visit him at the office, he was always sitting. I used to tell people, I said, if somebody was a hitman, they'd have an easy target, because he was, I guess that was the military. You know, he instilled that work ethic, and I always saw him, he was either with the customer or he was sitting there at his desk writing a card, constantly, you know, doing that. I can remember that. And I've got a neat story I'll kind of share with you if you have a minute, or if you want to ask me another question.
We love stories. Go right ahead.
Well, you know, let's fast forward about 15 years ahead of that, or up till I guess I was 32, right when he passed away. My son was 6 months old, so that's how I can keep that track there when he passed away. But I remember walking, and I still didn't, you know, I was sitting there telling you earlier, Cody, that I wish I could tell you that I got everything that I saw. I wish I had told you that the light bulb, that it clicked, but it didn't. But I remember walking in to his house, I guess it was probably a month before he passed, and he's sitting there on the sofa. I'll never forget this. He's sitting there on the sofa, and I said, "What are you doing, Dad?" And my son called him Pops. So, "What are you doing, Pops?" And he had all these records. That was before the days when you could have all the, you know, all your files out. And he had stacks and stacks and stacks of customers' records. I said, "What are you doing?" And he was sitting there. He said, "I'm assorting the customers for what salesman. I want to fit them with the right salesman that has the right approach, that knows how to handle that customer. And Cody, it just, it blew me away. And I was like, that's cool. But it was really up until this last week or two that I got it. And I always knew that he was good, and, that he was talented. And I said, maybe it's all those word tracks that he knew. Maybe it was all the closes, all the trainings. He was just smooth. Everybody said, your dad was one of the best. And I always thought that maybe that was it. And you know what? The other day it hit. It was like, no, he was so good. He had such success. It's because he cared about the people. He didn't have anything monetarily to gain on this earth anymore. Nothing monetarily. And I'm like, because he cared. And he probably had hundreds of customers that came to his wake. And I'm like, you know what? They're customers, but they became friends. And that's why the success was there, because he was friends with them.
Boy, that's powerful. You said close to 100 people, his customers, came to the wake.
Probably more, yeah.
That's amazing, and it does show you that he had genuine connection with his customers, which is what we really try to convey here on these shows every week, is how important that is. It's so much more than making a living and making a sell. It's about creating connections with human beings, and in doing that, the sell takes care of itself, but your quality of life increases. I mean, that's what's cool about this. So he was an old school, like he hand wrote notes and stuff like that. You came along, you're a new generation now, and you were recently introduced to our system, which we use technology really to do the same thing that your dad did back in the day, but you can utilize technology with smartphone and everything else.
He would have loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have. I'm sure that he would have. So the first thing you did, by the way, one of our relationship marketing specialists, Darla, set you up on this, and she does a great job of showing people things. And so one of the first things you did, I think, is you set up a holiday card campaign. Can you tell us what happened with that?
Yeah, I tell you, I knew that I said I could see that where the internet was going, and maybe that could be another conversation, but where the internet is it's changing this business. It's changing this business in so many aspects. And I said, you're either gonna get with it, or you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. You're either gonna be there's not gonna be any more middle ground, Cody. It used to be so much of where a guy that hustled, could get out and still create a, income up here. But I think it's really either going to be here or somebody that's developing a personal relationship that can really do things that have never been done before. But we did a Christmas campaign, and what was so cool about it is the fact that, and I think that's one of the things that deters a lot of guys in the car business or in sales, is like, I've got to do all this, I've got to do all this work to implement the system, and it's too much work, but yet everybody's standing around waiting on a customer to come in.
Right.
The mentality is messed up. And the thing is, I was that way for, a long time, too long.
Yeah.
So Darla has been awesome. She helped me and my friend Arturo was on the same system. She helped us implement it. The Christmas cards, I've actually got a couple of them here. And so we're seeing the residual effect from what happened at Christmas has bled over into January, which was my best month financially in a year. And January is supposed to be the worst month in the car business, right?
Right.
Well, not.
So what's interesting is that you just this what's interesting. You've already had your best month ever in one of your typical slow months. And you just implemented this system, like I think you said, in November. You started out with a Christmas campaign, so you sent holiday cards out to people.
Started with the Christmas campaign, but we got rolling quick. As soon as we got involved with the system, we were automatically sending thank you cards, brownies. I mean, right out of the gate. And then the Christmas card was the actual first campaign. Okay,
so someone comes in and buys a car. You send them a thank you card, and I think with brownies, right? Do you have one of those?
I do.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Here's a card that says sending a big thank you your way. You can see that.
Excellent. Yep.
And then this was a acquaintance of mine that actually ran an apartment complex, and she's also a realtor. She came in, bought a car, and the neat thing about this is you can, while she's in the business office, you can I put her information in the contact manager. So before she comes out of the business office, all that information is on my phone.
Right.
So we took a picture together, pulled her Scion in the Chevy showroom.
Nice.
And took a picture of us together. And then it says underneath there, it says, congratulations, Renee. And then it says, dear Renee, I wanted to send this out to say thanks again for doing business with me and that we appreciate you. Please feel free to call or stop by anytime I can be of assistance. Your new favorite car salesman. And I put on their P.S. Enjoy the brownies. I added a few more for the office staff.
That's great. What a great story. I put a post on Facebook the other day. It says it's not what you say or do that people will remember. It's how well the brownies tasted. So,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I got to tell you, the significance of that card alone, and we were talking a little bit before the show about this, people do not get how powerful that is. You just made that lady that you just talked about, and she was an acquaintance already, but you just made a customer for life, period. Not only that, anybody she knows, she is a raving fan getting people to come.
It's already happening.
And how easy is that? Like there's salespeople that say, I don't have the time to wheel the car in and take this picture. Oh, poor me. I just don't have the time. I need to go sign the contract and close the deal. And you don't realize that in that extra 10 minutes of effort, which by the way is fun to do.
You know what? I think the thing is for so long, and I think, especially somebody that's been in this business as long as I have, you get jaded. You can get jaded. You can get complacent. You can just, my buddy of mine used to say, flounder around, just go through the motions. And it's like, I've got that fire back again. I've got the fire back to want to help somebody again. I quit, last month, I quit worrying about the money, and I genuinely wanted to help everybody. And guess what happened?
Exactly. Well, and again, quality of life. That's what there's so much more than monetary gain by having a relationship marketing system. It's so much more than monetary. It's quality of life. And you just mentioned that. So you birthday card, or excuse me, the thank you card with the picture, super, super cool. And I think you also have set up to send birthday cards as well, and also put them on a holiday or a Christmas card list. So you have three touches that are mandatory: a thank you, a birthday, and a holiday. Do you have an example of a birthday card?
Yeah, and I know you got some cool cards coming out, so we're looking forward to that.
Good. Good.
And one thing I wanted to share, especially for the people that are out there in sales and the car business or any other industry, the neat thing about it is from the time that I sent that, when I took that picture, Cody, here's what I want everybody to realize and it's fun. And I'm not the biggest IT guy in the world, but from the time she pulled off the lot, when the taillights hit the road, I was already sending the card, and it was thanks to you guys. It was printed, stuffed, stamped, and the brownies were on the way to her office before I even got back to my desk. I mean, it was done, because I know if I don't get it done, it's not going to get. So and that's what was so cool about it. So here's actually a birthday card that I sent to a previous customer that got a Christmas card, and she called into the internet department. That's a whole nother conversation where this business is changing, but she called into the internet department because she had seen another car online, but she wanted to make sure that she was dealing with me. She was very adamant to let them know that she only wanted to deal with me. So I called her. She said, Chris, I probably can't. It's going to be next week till I can get in. She told me what kind of car she wanted. Well, next week was her birthday. So I know it's about appreciation, not promotion. but I kind of did a little twist on this one. Here's the birthday card. Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the inside, I pulled up a picture. That's what's so neat too. I pulled up a picture online of the car that she's getting ready to purchase. And I said, this will look great in your driveway. And then I said, wishing you all the best on your special day. I wanted to send this out to say thanks again for thinking of me. It really meant a lot. And have a great birthday. Enjoy the brownies. And then on the back, the branding is great.
Yeah.
It's got her phone number on there. And one of the things I want to impress today is you can give them the best service in the world. You can dazzle them. You can roll out the red carpet. But when they leave, if they don't remember you, they have to remember you.
Right.
I see so many people that the salesman did a great job, but they didn't follow up, and all they remembered was the dealership. They didn't remember the salesperson.
Yep. Very interesting. It is. I mean, we could go on all day about those kinds of stories. Before the show, we were talking about experiences I've had on dealerships or at the dealerships. And I've bought a lot of vehicles over the years, never received a thank you card, never been followed up with. And I'm a great customer. I mean, I buy stuff all the time, and it's just amazing to me. My wife, 2 years ago, she bought a new vehicle, and we had a great rapport with the sales guy and the whole bitch. We ended up buying the vehicle, and my wife, she sends cards like all of us do, and so she took a picture. Well, both of us were there, but she took. We had someone come in. She had a picture taken of the sales guy and her and I next to her new car, and she sent the car dealer guy, the sales guy, a thank you card for selling her a car.
Wow.
And I know it's funny. We've never heard back from him. And he was a cool guy. He was a super cool guy. And we never heard back from him. It's been 2 years. We've never heard back from him. She bought a $95,000 vehicle, and we've never heard back from him. It blows my mind, Chris. It blows my mind. I don't understand it. And I love seeing guys like you, because you're going to change that. You're going to instill the importance of what we're talking about, in your industry.
Things have to change in this industry, Cody, because of where the internet's going. You're either it's got to change, because there's so many other options out there, and it's so limited on what's happening in the marketplace where people, the fresh up market, so to speak, or the fresh traffic is being rerouted through the internet, and it's never been a time like that there is now, where the salesman has really less control over his outcome as the time that we're in. So if you don't do something different, you're going to be wondering, scratching your head, wondering what's happened. And, we shared earlier, one of the light bulbs that went off with me, and most, just like the guy with the $95,000 car, once it hits the curb, most of those guys are like, okay, on to the next one.
Right.
But it's the guys there's always one or two of those guys in a dealership that are following up, that are doing stuff after the sale, and the other guys are just over there looking at them while they're in a huddle. Those are the guys that are selling 20, 30, 40. And I think now there's records. There's a guy that just broke Joe Girard's record. There's going to be records that are going to be set now because of the personal touch, because we live in such an information technical, age, that when they get that kind of treatment, it's over the top.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, listen, Chris, I wish we had a whole bunch more time, because we could spend hours talking about stuff. You have some incredible stories. As we close the show today, any final words of wisdom from yourself on behalf of car dealers, or just personally, as we close off today?
Yeah, and Cody, I just want to say again, I appreciate. I just felt like I had this stirring when I called Darla, and I'm so glad. I know there was a bigger, higher power going on there when I was praying for more, for something to change in my life, for more success, for more happiness, and I just I thank you for this, for what you've created. And the one thing that we talked about that I really wanted to share was the fact that I always thought that it happened, the magic happened when somebody came in, and the relationship is built when the time that somebody leaves.
Yeah.
So for the guys that have been in the business a long, long time, you can turn it around quick. You can turn it around quick and do something different and have some enjoyment and some fulfillment when you decide to get out and get out on top. And for the young guys that have just started this, take some, success leaves clues, as a friend of ours used to say. And I'm glad I finally, the light bulb finally went off. So hopefully some of these younger guys too are listening to this and do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And things are getting, times are changing. So I just appreciate you, Cody. Thanks so much for allowing me to be on here. I'm honored.
Thank you. Thank you. There you have it, everybody. Chris Kendall, Bachman Chevrolet out of Louisville, Kentucky. Appreciate you, my friend. God bless. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. We'll have another incredible show next week as well. We'll just keep on doing this. Take care now.
Thanks.